through some videos.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Any doubts you have till now?
no Prasanna.
Okay. Okay, I think for me also to understand like how much you have done, I'll give you some assignment tomorrow. Not today, I not prepare anything, but tomorrow I'll give you some assignment. You can just they're very simple. You can try and do them, and we'll see in the next session.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, then let's start from where we stopped yesterday. Can you enable the sharing side? Sai, are you there? Give me a minute, Bhavna.
Yeah, no problem, Prasanna.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, Prasanna.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, yesterday we started with the flow controls and we did a small example, if you remember, uh, about the if statement. So, this is an example of the nested if as we started. And here, what we have done yesterday is that we took two inputs from the user where we say what give me the GPA, and then we checked the approval if the student has the approval or no. So based on that, if the GPA is greater than or equal to 3.7, then we are saying check the approval. If the approval is yes, if the person has the approval, then they are qualified for the loan. Else he is not qualified because there's no approval. If this first condition itself fails, then gets into the else statement saying that the GPA itself is low. So we have seen all the scenarios over here for this particular program, right? So,
Prasanna,
hmm,
just one thing. Like, I want more assignments on this part, if else, and this loops part.
okay.
If you're able to, yeah,
You want more examples or the assignments to you to do?
assignments.
Okay, sure. I'll get them.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the nested if loop. Okay, I'll do one thing. Tomorrow I'll get you the list of assignments, and daily basis you do few of them. Okay.
Yeah, Prasanna. At least give me 10 or 15 assignments daily.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll start from tomorrow. Okay.
Okay,
Today
okay.
I did not prepare anything yet, so tomorrow I'll get something.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then this is the first example for nested loop, and I have one more. Yeah, I have one more example, which is the grades based on the score. Okay. right? So we all know, like, generally above 90 we get a grade like grade A, grade B, grade C based on our score. So how can we directly assign based upon the score? If a student has this much of score, how much, what is the grade which is assigned to that? So instead of each writing on each and every line of a student score, what we can do is we can write a program. Just say we currently what we are doing here is it's a very small program where we are taking the input from the student, saying give me your score, please enter the student score, and based upon the score, if the score is greater than or equal to 90, then I'm saying print this one, else go to the next line. Okay, in the previous example we have seen that inside an if we have else, if and else. Okay, now here what we are doing is inside else, for each else we are again having if else. Okay, this is one particular, the indentation tells you which particular else or else which belongs to that if you are available in currently. So this if prints this one, this else works on this complete program, right? So if else, it will get into this line and it will again check if the score is greater than or equal to 80. If it is no, then it will again get into this else program. Okay, and then it goes on. This is also called as nested loop. Okay, nested if else statements. This is very simple. And lastly what we are saying is if nothing of this, like else if this, else if this, else if nothing works, else it's a statement, it will work only, it will execute only when all the others are failed. Okay, if this is not true, this is not true, this is not true, this is not true, all of them are false, then it will get into the last else statement and it says failed with score. I'm also printing the score what we have given. Okay, so now we will try and execute this one. I will say my score is above 90, so I'm 94. See, the grade is displayed. That means whenever I have the score which is greater than or equal to 90, it enters into this one. We'll also try with the same value 90 also. It says 90 is also grade A. And for example, if I try less than 60, that means only this has to be executed, all this will fail. In that case, if I say 25 and enter, see, failed with score 25. So this is a nested if else condition. Instead of writing it like this is a valid scenario and a valid code, you can write it like this. But instead of that, there is one more called elif. Elif statements are nothing but else if statements. Okay, what we can do here is instead of writing else and then getting into a new line to make it work, I will add this as a single condition, elif. Instead of writing else and then getting into the else condition loop and then writing the if again, so I am using the direct elif. Elif is nothing but else if only, a shortcut for else if. Okay, so here and here, if I use elif, this comes under the same level of what this if is there. It is not getting into else and then going into a new condition. It is continuing with the same condition. Understood?
Yes, Prasanna.
So then again, if I change this, I changed it to elif, but there is an error here. Do you know why? Can you tell me why? I did the same thing, elif, but why there is an error there? Any idea?
Maybe because of the spaces.
Correct. The indentation. In
Yeah.
Python mostly it is a user friendly or it is very easy to read. So if the indentation is not proper, it is not easy for the user to read it. right? So indentation is very important in Python code, and whenever I'm using elif, I said it is the same position of this if, right? So if I change the indentation, now see the error is gone. Okay, so the
Yeah.
same
And Prasanna, just a small doubt.
thing.
Like uh, in the input, like grade C with score
Hmm.
plus, so you're converting the score to string in string, right?
No, this is a string. Whatever you give inside an input method, that will come as a string. I'm
So
not.
like,
Hmm.
yeah, you have given this uh, data type, right? String score,
This one.
the down one in the
Oh,
print
this one.
statement.
Okay, this
In the
one
print
you're
statement.
saying. Okay,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what if we are not using the data type? Uh, it will throw an error or what?
That's a good question. I think I've
Or else
covered
it
it
will
one of
convert
this.
into string.
No, it will not. See, if I do not use string, see, first thing, print, what it will do. This function, print function, only prints the strings. Whatever you print, it will be as a string data type only. Okay, for example, let's try, I will, okay. Uh, this, before the input, what I will do is, I will just say, mm, 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 print of 5. Print me this number called 5. Okay, or I will take a variable, it would be easy for x equal to 5. What is this 5? It's an integer,
Integer,
right? So now I'm printing this 5. Okay, and then what I will do is I will say print type of 5, type of this variable. I will print this variable only. Okay, so this will give the data type of this variable, right? Okay, this is an integer,
yeah,
correct? So now what I want is whenever I'm using it with this, like for example string concatenation, you remember using this plus.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, this plus is used to concatenate only two strings. This is used only between strings, right? Now what is a score? Score, whatever we are giving it as an integer. Okay, first what we will do is I will remove this integer for now. Okay, I am giving some input. I will give the same 5 or 25, whatever it is. We will just check the type of the score. Okay, the score is a variable where I am giving an input integer. So we will check the type of score. What will be the type of score? You tell me.
It would be string.
Why? But I am giving an integer, no?
Like you did not
No, but I am giving an integer.
specify the, yeah,
I'm giving 5. 5 is an integer.
yeah. Now it will show as integer. I mean, yeah, integer.
Are you sure? See, I'll try to confuse you. That's my duty. And you should be sure with the answer.
Okay.
So let's lock something. Either it's an integer or a string. What do you think?
Mm,
Do a wild guess.
while yes. Okay, it would be. Integer?
Then you're wrong.
See,
It's a
if
string. See, it's a string. See, when we were learning about this input function, I told you whatever the input you give, anything you, even if you give float, for example, I will just give some float value 5.35. Okay, this also is a type of string. Anything you enter as an input function, when anything you enter inside the input function as an input, that will always be a string. Okay,
okay, yeah.
so that is the reason I am using int here. Understood?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. So if I do not want to use int, but I just wanted to compare it with an integer number, so that is why I'm converting it to as an integer. Okay, so
Okay.
this greater than or equal to will not work for string, right?
Mm-hmm.
Strings can only be worked as double equal to, which is either equal or not equal. That's all. String cannot be compared as a mathematical integers. So that is the reason I'm converting this to int. Okay. Now if you see, now if I enter 5, it says it is of
Integer.
type integer. Understood? That is the
Yeah, yeah.
first point. Okay, why we are converting it to int. The second reason why we are using str here. Okay. See, if I do not use str and I will give some number greater than 90 so that it will get into that print statement.
Mm-hmm.
Is it throwing an error?
Yeah.
And
And
what
only
is
concatenate
what
string. Yeah.
can only concatenate string and not int. Int cannot be concatenated. This plus symbol is a concatenation symbol where it combines two strings, right? So I
Yeah.
want to show that's why we are converting it into string.
Mm.
Is it clear now?
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So here I have changed this else ifs into elif. Elif is nothing but the same else if, just that my lines of code is reduced, and it is very easy for the user to read this than that one, than the before one. Okay, both of them works the same, but the only thing is the indentation is different and it is easy to read like this. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. Then let's get into the other one called truthy and falsy values, which is the same, but it's just a small variation of just calling with different names. That's all. Okay, truthy and falsy values. For now, if score is greater than or equal to 90, I'm saying if this is true only, then get into this one, right? So this is a truthy value. This is called as truthy value. Okay. And instead of using this one, um, I will just say I will not compare it with any of the value. I will just say if the score is available, whatever the score he gets, if score is available, then print that he got some grade A. If nothing is there, then say he's failed. Okay. I am not doing any condition here. Okay. I'm not writing any condition. I'm not checking whether the score is greater than or some value, or not comparing it with anything. I'm just saying if it is available or no. Okay, this is the truthy and falsy values. If it is available, then go this one. If it is not, then get into this one. That's all. So I will run it. I will say some 25, but there is a value. So he is, and if there is a value, then it will get into this particular statement and it is printing the score along with the grade. Okay, if I do not give any value, I will not enter anything, I will just say enter. Oh, not here, sorry. Here I will just say enter. um oh, okay. Hmm. Mm, mm, mm. Ah, okay, this is integer, so it is expecting. And we do not need this anymore. Okay, so input I'm giving it as integer, right? So it is mandatorily asking me to enter some value of an integer. If I give some space or directly enter, that is not a value, right? So that's why it was throwing an error. Now if I say n and I do not enter anything and I will just say enter and see it went into the else statement, right? If I do not give input, it will work for whatever the value we give. Okay, for example, I will say score is nothing. I do not give anything. If I run it, see, it just said failed with score. And if I have some value here, because now it's an integer, and so I have to use string to print it. So I had a value here. Then it says it gets into this and it prints with string score. Is this clear?
Yeah, Prasanna.
Perfect. And now when we are getting into this conditional statements, okay,
Mhm.
here it runs only once, right? This one, whatever the input
Yeah.
I give, if else it runs only once. But
Mm.
if I wanted to run it multiple times, I need a loop,
Yes.
right? So let's get into loops in flow control. Now, let's start with while loop. So normally if condition is for running it one single time. For while loop, it continuously runs until the condition is true. Okay, I'll say, for example, I have a condition that I wanted to run it 5 times. And I will say until 5 is reached, run the program continuously. Okay, I need the program to be run 5 times. I do not want to write it 5 times. I wanted to run it 5 times. Then we use this loops. Okay, first thing, while loop. For every loop, there is a counter which counts how many times we are running it. Okay, any variable. Okay, I will create a variable called counter. I will say it starts with 0. Okay, and now I want a while loop. While loop contains first keyword is while, which we are using, and then we should have a condition. This condition has to be written in such a way that how many times the loop has to be run. So I am saying this while loop should run until the counter value is less than 3. Okay, this is my loop condition. And inside the loop, what I want, I want to print something. I will say the same something. Okay. And what we are doing here is, see, if I run this one, what will happen? Any idea?
Print. It will print something twice, I guess.
See, whenever we are writing a code, we have to imagine like what we are doing. Okay. So this counter value is 0 first. Okay. And this while loop ends after this one. Correct? Or until the this condition is met. Right? Now, after this line, it executes the next line. It says while counter is less than 3, print something. Then I will enter this one and I will print this one. And then it will go and check the condition again. Right?
Yeah.
First time it is this counter is less than 3, which is 0 less than 3. And it printed it once. And then it goes into here and it will check the counter. Now did the what is the counter value now?
1.
Where did you increment? See, I have a counter
Because the
value
counter
0.
value is already 0. So,
Hmm. But you did not increment it anywhere, no? See, if the counter value has to be increased, a counter is nothing but it's a variable. I will just say x. Okay, x. Okay, can the variable value can be increased by itself?
mm,
No, right? We have to do some program to make it increase for every loop. Correct?
okay. Mm-hmm.
Correct. So if I run this program, it will be infinite loop. Okay, the counter value doesn't stop or doesn't increase, so it will be 0 always, and it this condition is always true and it will go on printing. Okay, I cannot stop it. The program will never end. It will get into the infinite loop and then the program crashes. Understood?
Okay.
So now here what we have to do is, for each and every execution we have to increment the counter. What I will do, I will just say x plus equal to 1. Okay, what I'm doing here, you remember this x plus equal to 1?
Yes, yes. You're directly assigning the.
No, I am incrementing the value x equal to x plus 1. This
Mm-hmm.
plus equal to represents whatever this operation is done with this value along with this x. You remember
Mm-hmm.
this?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
yeah, so x equal to x plus 1. That I am doing here. I am saying x is 0. Do 0 plus 1. Now what will be the value of x? It will be 1, right? So 1 is less than 3, it's true. It will print again. In the next line, again it will increment. 1 plus 1, it will be 2 again. So 2 is less than 3, it's true, right? It will print again. 3 times it printed. The fourth time what it will do, it will again be incremented from 2 to 3, right? And then
So
now,
we have to do it manually or
manually what? Increment.
like every time, yeah.
No, this will run automatically. This is inside the loop, right?
Okay.
See, this is inside the loop. Whenever this condition is true, the loop completely the loop ends after this line, right?
Mm.
So whatever the indentation you have, all the lines which are inside that indentation are inside that loop only. So this is inside the loop. This will execute all the time. Understood? I will also print the value of x so that you will understand here. Print x. Okay. I will print it twice so that you will get to understand. Okay. First, what I am doing, I am printing something. Okay. Let's get to the first loop. Okay. First, the value is 0, right? Now what I'm doing, I'm checking if 0 is less than 3, which is true. So that means all these four statements has to be executed. So what is the first statement? It will print something. After printing something, I'm printing x value. What is the x value now? It is 0, right? I'm incrementing the x value. Then again I'm printing the x value. That means the incremented value, that is 1, will be printed. Understood? So now if I run it, see, first the value of something, it is printed, and this first time it is 0, and after increment it is 1. Okay. Now again, when it goes here, the x value is 1 here, so it printed something again, and then 1 is the current value. Then it got incremented to 2. Did you understand now?
Yes, 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 Prasanna.
So I will just remove this print, but you can just see here. So here now this condition will run until this is met. That means for 0, 1 and 2, it has to be printed thrice. So now see, is it printing 3 times? Yes. So your while loop is working as expected. So while loop works until this condition is met. Okay, and you can do whatever the operations you want inside this, and but the counter has to be incremented at the end of your loop. Okay.
Okay.
To avoid the infinite loop, this condition is mandatory and the increment for that countered value is mandatory. Okay. And this whatever we are doing here, it is not an infinite loop. So what does this is called as? It is a closed loop. If you do not have this incremented value, then it is an infinite loop. It runs all the time because the value of x doesn't change, right? So if that has to be updated, you will have this incremented value, and then this is a closed loop. It runs only 3 times. It doesn't run more than 3. That means it's a closed loop. Okay, this is the difference between infinite loop and closed loop.
Okay.
Okay, for example, if I say x equal to 6, oh, sorry, x equal to 1. Okay, and I say I want this to be 6, and I will just say print x, and then I will increment it. Okay, so what will this print me now? Can you tell me?
It will print 5 times, I guess.
Find types what it will print.
X.
What is x?
Oh,
What is x now?
it's nothing. It's a condition, I guess.
Hmm? X is a value. We are assigning a value to the x.
So it will print 1.
Correct. Then 1 for the first loop. Then
Okay. Then 1 plus 1, 2 maybe.
mm, and until
Until 6, it reaches 6.
no, it is not less than equal to, it is less than.
I mean, until 5.
Perfect. So the main thing is what we have to do, we have to check each and everything when you're writing a program. Okay. See, it printed till 5. If I use this less than or equal to, then it will print till 6, as you said. Okay. Our condition is a basic thing which we need to understand what we are writing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Then this is about while loop, where we have a condition and a counter which we need to increase. Then there is one more called for loop. Okay. Why when we have to use while loop, when we have to use for loop? That is the main difference. We have both. Both are loops. It loops through something. When we have to use both of them, while loop can be like run based upon the condition. That condition can be anything, and it runs until the condition is met. That means the number of iterations are not fixed. It is based upon the condition, right? And for when you use the for loop, it is based upon fixed number of iterations. Iteration is number of times it runs. Okay, did you understand?
Yeah, yeah, Prasanna.
So for example, I will say something called x equal to house. It's a string basically. Okay, what I wanted to do is I want to write a loop which goes through each one letter inside this particular string. Okay, so now what I will say is, for whenever you're writing a for loop, the keyword for starts and a variable which specifies these letters. Okay, something like I can give mm, letter, for example. For each letter in x, x is a word, right? X is a variable which represents a word. For example, if I take it as a word, okay, for each letter in the word given, right? This is just for you to understand. I'm giving this. You can give any variable. Even this can be x and this can be y. Any variable. The only thing is this is referring one variable out of this. Okay. What I'm doing is I will just say print this particular letter. Okay. I want each letter has to be printed separately in the complete word. So what I'm doing, I'm looping through each one of these letters and I'm saying for each letter, print me that what is this letter. Is this clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if I run this, see, it printed me each one letter in separate because this is executing separately for each one of them. Okay. So first it will say print of h. It has been printed. Again it went into the next loop and it for each letter, next letter it will take is o out of word. Then again it is printing this o. Okay. So similarly it is printing all of the letters. For example, mm, I have this one. What I will do is we can write a loop where I say I wanted to count the number of characters. Okay, number of characters in this particular this thing. What I can do, I will just say, see, whenever you wanted to print something, okay, I can directly say here, first I will start with a variable. I will say count. Okay, I will say first thing, my count of this letter is 0. I don't think I have anything. I wanted to count it, so I will start with 0. Okay, currently I don't have anything in this. So whenever you get into each one of this letter, it has to increment this one so that you will get the length of that particular word. Understood? So for each time, first time it will get into this h, it says there is a letter, so increment this one. That means 0 plus 1, it will be one letter of total word. Okay, so what I will do after each, instead of print, what I will do here is I will say count plus equal to 1. I am incrementing this variable. That's all. I am not doing anything. So that I will just get the count of this particular letters. So after completing the whole word, it will give me, like, it will increment 1 after each. For H it will increment 1. For O it will be 1 plus 1, that is 2. For U it will be 2 plus 1, that is 3. Next it would be 4, and then it would be 5. So my count value will be 5. So what, that is what I need. I want to find the number of characters in that particular string. Correct? So now if I write something out of this indentation, that means I am out of the loop.
Yeah.
Whatever I am writing in this indentation, that will be inside the loop. If I come out of the indentation, it is outside the loop. Okay. After the loop is completed, what I wanted to print is, I want to print the value of count. That means the number of characters available in this particular word. Okay. And I will also print the word so that it would be easy for us to check in the response. Okay. So if I run this, see, this word is house and the number of characters is 5, and it can be anything. Like for example, this is a house. Now what it should print, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but there are also spaces. When there is a string, it will also count the spaces, right?
Yes.
13, 14, 15. So total I have 15 in this one. So I should get my count as 15. See here. This is 4, 2, 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 7 plus 5 is 13, sorry, 12. And then I have 3 spaces in between, which comes to a total of 15. Okay. So here, this program, it can be like, this is a very small one. But if we have a sentence, a long sentence, for example, this one we will take. Oh no, it has inverted commas in between. So I will just take it within the inverted commas. Okay, something like this. No. Okay, this is my string. So if I run this, mm, it has some escape sequence. If you do, you remember the slash escape
Yes,
sequences
yes.
between the slash?
Yeah, yeah.
So that is why it is saying it has an escape sequence. But see, this is our this thing, and it counted up the value as 86. So that means the 86 are there for us. Okay, but there are escape sequences. It is giving us the warning. Okay, understood?
Yeah. So basically, this loop, for loop doesn't have a condition, right?
Yes, this doesn't have a condition. Just go through each one of them and then do the action based upon it.
Okay.
So this can be only fixed number of iterations can happen. If the word has only 86 letters, it will run only for 86 letters. It will not be an infinite loop. Okay. And if we say based on condition for while loop, condition might change based on input. This input will never change, and based on that input, this counter will never change. Understand? This has only fixed number of iterations. That is the for loop.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then we will get into one more called range function. Okay, so range function, what it does is, this function returns a sequence of numbers usually used for iteration to use in for loop. Okay.
Sorry, come again, Prasanna.
Range function returns a sequence of numbers,
Okay.
okay, usually used for iterations. For example, I will show you an example, then you will understand. Okay, I will say x is equal to range of 5. Okay, now what I will do is I will write a for loop. I am saying x is a range. I'm not giving any variable or something. Okay, I'm just telling it's a range. What it does is, the range means it will display the numbers, sequence of numbers, and it always starts with 0. Okay, I said 5. So this is the index which is given. So what the x value will be is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, these total numbers is 5. So when I say range of 5, it has this 0 to 5, 0 to 4. Okay, just that it is giving a sequence of numbers. I do not have to manually add them. Understood? So for example, when you're using for while loop, what you are doing, you are saying x equal to 0, and then you are incrementing it for each time, right?
Yes.
Hmm. Inside for loop, you cannot increment it. That you know it. You can just use from the input what you have given, right? Increments we will not use in for loop. I will tell you. For y in x, right? This can be anything. Before we have used for letters in word, right? So I am defining this as x, so I said for y in x, that means anyone. So this is like a counter. It gives from 0 to 4 values. So when I say print of y, it prints each one of them. See, if I do it now, can you see 0 to 4?
Yes.
So this range function gives the sequence of numbers. Okay, so but you do not want the sequence starting from this. Okay, I just want my sequence to start from 5. Okay, range functions can have two arguments. If you give only one argument inside the braces, that means it usually starts with 0. And for example, if I give 10 here, I gave only one argument. See, 0 to 9 it is printing, right? Which is a total of 10. But if I wanted to start it from 5. Okay, and my range is again 10. 10 means it will not print till 10. You remember, first if we give range of 5, it printed only till 4. That is minus 1 of that particular one. Even if we have printed range of 10, it is printing till 9. That is minus 1. The same thing here, if I say range start from 5, it will print till 9. That means the total should be 10, but it will be minus 1 if you see at the last number. Is that clear?
Yeah, yeah. So it will
So
start from 5 and ends with 9. That's what you're
correct,
saying, right?
correct.
Yeah.
So this has two arguments. First one to start with, and the second one is total number of digits what you want. So if I run this, see, it prints till 5 to 9. If I say 15 and end at 20, it prints from 15 to 19. Okay, this is the use of range function. We will not increment it as we did it for while loop. If we want each one of them, that the counter, then we use a range for loop. Understood?
Yes.
Huh. So range can have 3 arguments as well. Okay, for example, I will say 1 to 20 I want. Okay, and it will print me 1 to 19. Correct. So for example, the third argument is called the step. In how many steps you need it. For example, if I say 2, okay, see what it printed. In the steps of 2, 1 and plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Did you understand the meaning of step now?
Yes, yes.
So for example, if I give 5 and the values will print only till 19, that means now it will print only how many values? 4 values. It started with 1, plus 5 is 6, plus 11 is plus 5 is 11, plus 5 is 16, and if I do plus 5, it will go till 21, which is not in the range, so it will not print it. It will only print the valid values within that range. If I say 0 and 21, then it will print me till 20 because it is valid, and I said 21, right? So did you understand the difference here?
Yes, yes, Prasanna.
Perfect. Now what we can do to print it in a reverse way. Okay, I don't want to start with 0. I want to do it in a reverse way. I want it from 10 to 1, something like that. Okay, that you can do it 20 and then 1. Is this valid? No. See, the reverse only happens with a step. Okay, for whenever you wanted to work on the reverse order, the step should be in negative. Okay, for example, I will say minus 1. It starts with 20 and it comes till here. See, 20, 19, 18, and 1 before that is 2. Okay, so when I say minus 2, so from 20 it is decrementing 2 as a step, and it is printing till 2, which is less than, sorry, which is greater than 1. Is this clear?
Yes, Prasanna.
Perfect. Okay, I think it's time up as of now. So we'll stop here. And tomorrow I'll try and get you some assignments, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure, Prasanna.
Yeah. Okay, then let's stop here for the day. And That's all from me. Have a good day.
You too, Prasanna. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sai.
Thank you, Prasanna, for the session. And Prasanna, I have pinged you in Google Pay. Can you just confirm me that your number? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And Bhavna, I'll ping you in WhatsApp. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.